President Trump's plan to draw down large numbers of U.S. troops from Afghanistan and Iraq is even rattling some of his most loyal supporters. The line wraps around all the way into the parking lot, and slowly but surely, they're starting to move in. A Casita, Alabama auto parts maker has been ordered to pay more than $1 million. The manhunt ended here at the Sunoco gas station in Macon County. Police say 23-year-old Latarius Dorsey died from multiple gunshot wounds, so they are calling this a very, very historic race. President Trump fired him yesterday, 2 days after Trump was projected to lose the presidential race. Protesters gathered outside Foy Hall, but what started as pretty peaceful got violent. I'm going to say bagels. That's a good one, right?
Well, yeah,
I think a lot of people eat bagels every morning. We have the AU singers back here. We also have the famous Abby. Parents struggle with the kids eating, especially vegetables, and obviously staying away from sugary drinks. There is no declared winner in the 2020 presidential election, so this is causing protests to erupt around the country. Plus, a local rapper was gunned down in Columbus last night. We'll have the latest details coming up. But first, let's check in with Desi. Des, okay, so we've had some weird weather. No really fall temperatures, except in the morning, and then the day has been beautiful. What's the latest going on? Breaking overnight, another shooting death in Columbus. Police say 23-year-old Latarius Dorsey died from multiple gunshot wounds in the 1500 block of Morris Road just before 7 yesterday. Dorsey is a local rapper known as Black Darunna. Authorities have not confirmed if there are any suspects in this case. Dorsey's body will be sent for an autopsy. The 900 block of Lawyers Lane was blocked off early this morning. As you can see, many firefighters are out on the scene. There are limited details at the moment, but stay tuned to WLTZ for more information, or go to our website, www.wltz.com, for updates. Whatever the outcome, one of the important takeaways from this election, the polling was once again way off, underestimating the strength of Donald Trump. NBC's Peter Alexander has more. And the ballot counting continues. Well, Joe Biden is the apparent winner in the key battleground state of Michigan. In Detroit, protesters are gathering outside a ballot processing center, demanding that they halt the counting of absentee ballots. The crowd, calling themselves election challengers, trying to get inside the TCF Center and chanting "Stop the Vote." This, as the Trump campaign says, it's filing a lawsuit in Michigan's Court of Claims to halt the counting of ballots. They are seeking meaningful access to numerous counting locations to observe the opening of ballots and the counting process. Protests form as ballots continue to be counted in Arizona. Here you see dozens of people gathered at the Maricopa election office in downtown Phoenix. People were seen waving Trump 2020 flags and signs late into the evening. At one point, some of the protesters attempted to get inside the elections building. Maricopa County Sheriff's deputies eventually formed a line out front to keep the crowd away from the doors. Officials say some vote center workers and members of the media were escorted away for safety. The Jewel Collins Smith Museum of Fine Art has many beautiful pieces of art and sculptures out on display, including some outside. We'll tell you about their out-of-the-box display coming up next.
She's a strong one, and she's really done good.
A year after the deadly tornadoes ripped through the tight-knit community of Beauregard, many are still healing emotionally and physically, including 12-year-old Kayla Grimes. She was the sole survivor during the EF4 tornado that killed her dad, stepmom, and best friend Taylor. Kayla was in the hospital for weeks and sustained many injuries.
Femur, I think, tibia, and then both of my ankles. And then I had some fractures in my stomach, I think. My hip, and both of my knees.
Your eye.
And then my eye, this one. And then I had some fractures in my hands.
She had a little fracture to her spleen and lung as well.
Kayla had 5 surgeries this past year and will have her 6th one in May to get all of the hardware removed from her body. Kayla is a fighter and a miracle. Not only does her family think it, her doctors do too.
She's just a little miracle.
Every time we get finished, like, he goes out of the room and he starts crying. I'm just like, oh my gosh, don't cry.
Even though the physical pain is gone, the emotional pain from that day still lingers.
Upset. Just frustrated.
It's hard. It doesn't get easier. You just learn to live with the new normal. It hasn't gotten easier.
I wake up in the morning, I thank God every day that I'm here. that I'm living. Like, just so thankful to be where I am today.
I thank him for sparing Kayla. She's got a purpose. He's got a plan. I'm just thankful. I know we lost a lot. But we just take it one day at a time.
And not a day goes by do they not think about the family and friend they lost.
I miss her voice. I miss her smile. Daddy, I miss everything. And I just wish he would come back.
Day by day, they will make it through and truly believe God has a purpose for Kayla's life, and Kayla plans to live it fully.
Have a good, education and just succeed in life, even though it's not going good right now. But keep making progress and keep moving forward.
It's going the way it's planned. It's going, I mean, you're doing great. You're an amazing little girl.
You are.
And I'm proud to be your mama.
A crime that shook the entire Auburn community Friday night. An armed robbery suspect shot an Auburn police officer multiple times, took off, and then continued to fire at officers at an apartment complex with hundreds of students and citizens around. A man who police say caused terror throughout the city, but thankfully ended that night. It all started when a call came in about an armed robbery at a pharmacy in the 400 block of North Dean Road. Police were then on the search for the suspect's vehicle, a silver Jeep Liberty. Officer Justin Sanders spotted the vehicle near the Dollar General on Opelika Road and pulled the suspect over. When Officer Sanders approached the vehicle, 38-year-old Christopher Wallace opened fire, shooting the 5-year Auburn police veteran multiple times. Officer Sanders was rushed to East Alabama Medical Center, and that night was thankfully in stable condition.
The most important thing here is the well-being of that officer, and we're just very, very blessed and fortunate that he's doing better.
Wallace, with an unidentified woman, took off and hid inside a relative's apartment on Stonegate Drive off of Wire Road. Multiple law enforcement agents were involved and surrounded the apartment complex as SWAT went in. Wallace then opened fire on the officers, and officers fired back.
Heard a loud bang and then gunshots.
We took cover, and there was multiple rounds of gunshots. We just scared like we didn't know what was going on.
Residents, who are also some students, were told to evacuate and run across the street to the Auburn Veterinary School to get out of harm's way.
Just scared like we didn't know what was going on. They came to the door, they came in, asked if we were okay, if anyone was in there. And we said we were fine, and they told us to run across the street. And we were running, they were shooting.
Easily heard at least 100, 150 shots.
It was really scary.
It was nerve-wracking.
The SWAT team then threw tear gas into the apartment where Wallace was in. The apartment then caught on fire, and Wallace and the unidentified woman died inside.
This individual posed danger to the public. We're thankful that it's over at this point and the threat is ended.
Officer Sanders was flown to UAB to have additional surgery, but is expected to be okay.